Alright guys, thanks for coming back and watching another one of my videos. I have been sitting here for the last month and a half trying to figure out a way that'll make money. Um, that'll make money in the long run. One problem I've been having is I've been going for the quick buck, and it turns out you can't really go for the quick buck. You got to really just put your time in, and you got to do this, and you got to stick with it. So this is what I found. I found an indicator on TradingView called ADX14, and this is how this works. Okay, you see these times in the chart right here where it looks like it's tan with an X over it, or just tan. Here's what this is. This is built up pressure. Imagine a pipe that's running water. You got water running down a pipe, and suddenly something is going down the pipe with the water that jams, and then the water stops in front of it, but behind it the water builds up, and the water builds up, pressure builds up to the point where all of a sudden it blows the thing right out of the pipe. And that's basically what these are. Okay, these tan areas, they're water pressure buildups, and when you just follow it straight up, and when that happens, there's usually a pop. Okay, and a pop to either the upside or the downside, but a little more aggressive than just normal water flowing down the pipe, because there's a back pressure buildup and then a boom and then it goes. So this is how this works. You use the 30-minute chart, and when you see an area of tan, you get in. Okay, so the line turns tan, you get in, and right here you see you get in. All right, one more thing I want to cover. When these tracers right here are flat, you don't get in. When you have a flat tracer, these lines like right up here going all the way across, that means do nothing, because the market is just like at a flat line. So basically it's kind of like a heartbeat. If it's flat, it's a dead line. You don't want to get in. Nothing's happening. It's just going up and down around the mean. There's nothing happening until all of a sudden the tracer goes up or down like this, and then things start to move. So let's go back to it. It turns tan. You see if you could get in. Is there a flat tracer? Yes. Do nothing. Wait. So this is, each one of these is 30 minutes. You wait. Is it still tan? Yes. Is it still tan here? Up, new spike, and new situation, and the tracer is moving, and so you get in. Now you get in and you wait until now all of a sudden you follow this line. When you see like a little curve bent, that's time to get out. That's the peak. So curve bent, like a little bend in this line, like for example here, for example here, okay, for example here. Okay, that's another get out. So you get out at those points. So let's look at what recently happened. All right, right here it turns tan. Do you get in? Follow it up. Flat tracer? No. Okay, and so then it ends, and then all of a sudden there's another tan. Do you get in? Look up. Flat tracer? No. It's still tan. You're following across. All of a sudden with this green spike here, the flat tracer ends, and that means that green means get in long, or a positive call, QQQ call. So you get in here and you stay in it. You're following the tan. So whenever you're in the tan zone, if this changes from green to red, you switch over from calls to puts, only in the tan zone. Okay. So here, I wanted to get in for red, but it was flat. Okay, you're not following the control line colors. You're following, what was the last spike with the tracers. But since it was flat, you do nothing. You get in here and you just stay in green, because it was green the whole rest of the time. And then when it turns proper green, that's a strong indication of that's going to go up. You ride it all the way to the first bend, and then you get out. Now you can see that whole ride right there was about, I don't know, about 100% on your call. What did it go to? It went from like 279 to about 298, almost 300. So yeah, you would have made 100% on that call. I usually don't do the call for that week. I usually do it a week out, so they expire about a week out. And how many times does this happen a month? Well, let's see. That was on the 8th. And the time before that, it happened over here at the end of last month, and a little bit here, not so much. You probably would have gotten out almost even money. You got in here, leave here, and then the peak was about right here. Yeah, you would have made about even money on that one. And let's see, here you would have made some pretty decent money. So right here it turns tan. Now it looks like it's on the tracer's flatlining, so you don't get in yet. And when it stops flatlining is usually when there's a new spike, which means you change from calls to puts. But since you didn't get in yet, you don't have to change it over. All of a sudden, you just get in with the puts. And then, boom, you would ride that down until like the first curve, which is basically about right here. And that's a good point to get out. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, why wouldn't you ride it all the way down? Because you didn't know. You know what I mean? It dipped down a little bit. It's better to grab your smaller hits than go for big home runs, because sometimes you can mess things up trying to go for a big home run. Let's see when it happened before that. It's happening about every 2 weeks or so. Sometimes less, sometimes a little more. About twice a month. Let's see. Would you get in here? Yeah, I would have gotten in here, and then I would have had to exit because all of a sudden, all right, for example, right here, you get in, it's a flat line, you don't do anything until the green spike, and then I would have bought long, and then it would have sort of petered out, you know what I mean? And as soon as the color changed here to red, which means down, I would have gotten out. And since that was a color that was different, well, let's see. Yeah, I would have stayed in. I just told you something wrong. I'm sorry. You can change it up here, and then right here when it changed colors, I would have gotten in put and then got out at the peak. Okay, I don't do color changeovers from like the dark red to the green. I only want to really start things at the tan line. Okay, tan line you can switch back and forth, but once it hits a normal color, like this means go down. You stay with it. Okay, you don't switch over from this to green. So anyway, that's just what I'm doing. It's pretty solid. Happens about twice a month. Let's look at it here. Okay, here's the tan line. Let's see, do we get in here? No, it's a flat line. Now as soon as it's not a flat line, all of a sudden it does this. That's when you get in. So you get in and it turns green. You just ride it all the way up to the first bent, and that's about maybe 30%, maybe 40% gain. Okay. So, what can you make with this? If things are working out, 200-300% a month, which is nice because if you add that up with a calculator, you start making some pretty decent money. Sometimes the market's a little boring; it's going up slowly. Little places you could jump in here and just ride it up to the peak, and you can make some decent money doing this. And it's not exciting; it's not rock star exciting, but 200-300% a month. Every month, compounding, that starts becoming pretty exciting after about month 6. Alright guys, thanks for watching.